Hello and good afternoon. Welcome to today's Powerboost. Today we want to reflect a little bit on some very practical aspects of our spiritual life. And to be spiritual does not mean to be separated from the world, to isolate myself. But as I have been discovering spirituality on my own journey and deepen the experiences, the understanding and experiences of living a spiritual life, which is a journey, right? It's really, spiritual life has a lot to do, or being spiritual has a lot to do with integration. So that I eventually, as I move through my whole day, having different responsibilities, I'm actually coming from a spiritual perspective. And what does that mean? Spiritual perspective means it's a different approach, developing a different perspective towards the self, towards life. There are many things going on in the world. There are many things happening in our personal lives. Everyone has one or another circumstances, situations, or maybe multiple of those that they have to deal with in their lives. In other words, their difficulties, their challenges. And spirituality really helps us to deal with whatever life is offering, whatever is coming in front of me on a daily basis, moment by moment. It helps us to deal with it in a very beneficial way, in a different way. I start to look and perceive it in a different way, and therefore the whole thought process and the interest looking towards a solution becomes more and more prominent in our lives. So something that I personally very, very much cherish in spirituality is that ultimately it can, maybe even it should, be part of our whole life, because it allows us to move my life into a direction that I want to live my life in, that how I want to experience life, how do I want to experience myself, and what are my relationships to the self, to others, to nature, to God. So these are areas that are included in my life, and these are areas, different forms of relationships that are very, very relevant for us. Because if we deprive ourselves from a relationship, even with the Supreme Being, the ocean of peace, the ocean of love, the ocean of truth, the ocean of bliss, the ocean of happiness, if we deprive ourselves from a relationship with that being that is able to give us power, that is able to guide us in such a way that we come back to our own inner truth and therefore be able to emerge a very pure form of happiness, spiritual joy, inner joy, and where we are able to live life then from a very powerful place from within that's being nurtured, co-created with God and myself. And I bring that then into action, into experience, into being, into experience, into my interactions and actions in life. And so then ultimately, whatever we do, whatever we are, whatever we do moment by moment, it carries that inner peace, pure form of happiness, lightness. There will be compassion, there will be kindness, there will be respect for my own self, for others, for nature, for inners, for everything and everyone. We will be able to emerge those, they are actually divine qualities because they get nurtured through a relationship between the self and the higher being, the higher power, supreme being, the divine. And so we are able then to, because we're having a different perspective, a very beneficial, very positive, beneficial perspective towards what we used to call problem, challenge, difficulty. And in the past, or as an ordinary human being, we would avoid, we would run away, we would deny, we would suppress, we create negative thoughts, we get stuck in certain life areas, issues, problems, and then even at the physical level are not able, but start to experience pain, difficulties. But all of that does not have to be. It has become part of our life. But first of all, I don't need to create more of it. And secondly, by being spiritual, connecting to my inner truth, we are able to, the word healing is used many times, but that healing really has a lot to do with having spiritual understanding and the courage then how to deal, the courage to be honest and then face and deal in a very beneficial way with the burdens, the problems, the pains at different levels that have been accumulated, and to actually free myself of those without creating further hardship, difficulties, or pain for myself. And this is not based on going back into the past and reliving certain unpleasant experiences or keep talking about it or doing hard work, even hard work in the context of making spiritual effort. No, there's a very new, a very different approach to resolving, letting go, and accumulating a stock of divine energy within my own self that allows me then to deal with everything in a very dignified manner. So these were just few thoughts and hopefully an inspiration to all of us to actually explore at a deeper level what does it mean to be spiritual, to engage in spiritual study, self-reflection, in inculcating becoming my pure self, my true self, and all of that on the basis of a relationship with the Supreme Being, who is the Father, who is the Mother of the human soul, of the human being. And so as the ocean of purity, the ocean of pure love, ocean of peace. Our parent, Supreme Parent, brings us back to our own divinity. And so let us explore that a little bit in meditation. So I sit quietly and I bring the focus of my attention back on myself. I take these few moments to look more deeply at and into myself. I'm connecting with my spiritual truth, with my spiritual identity, which is far deeper and beyond my physical identity. This physical body is a wonderful machine, a beautiful costume. It's been given to us by nature and needs to be used in a worthwhile way. But who is using this body? Who is acting through the body? Who is thinking and feeling and experiencing life? So that is when I now go deeper beyond my physical identity, my physical self that I see with the eyes, and I connect to my inner truth, myself as a spiritual being, as a being of light, a being of consciousness. I am a soul, child of the Supreme Being. And what connects me with the Supreme Being is my innate peace, my innate love. I am a divine light, spiritual light. And as I look at myself in this way, I choose to go beyond all my limited thoughts, limited feelings, going beyond all the many wasteful, unnecessary thoughts, repetitive thinking. Temporarily, I leave all of those behind and I merge my innate self, my original state of being. And that becomes the springboard, brings me to what connects me with my spiritual father, the ocean of love, the ocean of peace. I hold myself in that awareness, in the spiritual awareness of my spiritual truth, that I am a very subtle being of light, And my innate quality is peace, is love. It's my natural nature to be peaceful and unconditionally loving. I remember my spiritual father, the ocean of peace. And merge into that peace, the peace that is emanating, the love that is emanating from the Supreme Being. My love, the love of the Supreme, emerging. I am experiencing God's pure, unconditional, empowering, purifying love. It's cleansing me, allowing me to let go of everything that I have acquired that causes confusion, disturbance, pain. I become free of all of that. I hold myself in that very pure, divine experience of God's love, the comforter of my heart. That Supreme Being, the ocean of love, knows me better than I know myself. And that being, through his wisdom, through his power, the power of pure love, guides me back, reconnects me very powerfully with my own inner purity, peace, love, reconnects me with my true self of who I truly am. And gradually, I develop the courage, the strength to be true to myself, to live up to my highest self, to my pure love, to remaining peaceful, non-violent. I come to know and experience myself in a completely new way. I've taken a spiritual birth by recognizing who I am and who I eternally belong to. Om Shanti.